Back in the shed, back working on the Galant. This here's a 1976 GD Galant. Been working on for a while now. There's a bunch of videos up. In previous videos, done some rust repair on bits and pieces around the back of the car mainly, and on the doors and the bonnet. And in previous video, fitted this engine and 5-speed manual gearbox, which is out of a Sigma. It's a 2.6 litre Astron, so that's in there now, all fitted in, and I made up a rear gearbox mount, and yeah, it's all good. And off camera, I installed a rear seat here. The upper section is out of this car originally, but the lower, I never had a lower section that came with it. So this here is a sedan rear lower seat, which fits in perfectly. And I thought there might have been an issue with the gap down here and how it's curved. I thought it might have been squared off, being a hard top. But I've checked a bunch of other photos of these cars that I found online, and this seat looks absolutely to be correct, which is great. So I was dummying that up because I thought I was going to have to modify the bottom or fabricate something to work as a rear lower seat, but no need. It looks like that's going to work fine. So I can take the rear seat and the front seats over there off to get trimmed at some point. So that's another job ticked off the list. So the next job in the queue is this front sheet metal. So I've got a front guard for each side, and then this is the valance, or the valance, the front panel that goes down there underneath the bumper bar. So I'm gonna get these fitted up, and they've got some pretty bad damage in them. See, I don't know if you can see here, but this one, it's like a golf ball all along there.
That is rough.
I'm not sure what's happened to it, but we'll try and get that straight best we can. And down here where the guards, where the badge is supposed to clip on, I'm not sure if that hole's been filled or what's going on there, but need to sort that out as well. This car's going to have the Galant badges on the front guards, and then that's a trim hole down there that's not going to be used. So I'll fill that in, and then it's the same on this guard. Badge holes are okay. Fill that one in. It's got a pretty bad ding back here to fix up, but all in all, this guard's quite a bit better than the other one actually. So yeah, we'll get into it. So this here's the passenger side front guard. It's pretty rough. Well, actually, it's really rough through here. I'm not exactly sure what's happened, whether it had a much bigger a ding there and someone sort of belted it back out into the general shape, but it's very nasty. This line here is good. This body line all the way along, that feels good, and all this feels pretty good, and then up along the upper edge feels good too. So it's confined just between sort of this area here, and it's a little bit wavy here as well, but it's sort of, the worst of it's between sort of here and here. I'm not sure if it shows up to that well, so what I might do is just hit it with really roughly with this rough paper, so you get an idea of what we're dealing with. Yeah, I hope that highlights it better, but you know, there's like punch marks sort of all through here. Before I get too stuck into it, actually, I want to thank everyone who's been commenting on the videos. I was really surprised in the last couple of weeks how many comments there's been, and how helpful folks are. I didn't realize there was so many people that love these little cars.
You seem surprised.
And you know, I wasn't a fan. I didn't really know much about them until I started this project. But yeah, it's an awesome little community, and it's been really impressive to see how keen and how helpful people are and how encouraging they are and all that sort of thing. It's a nice little community, and so I want to thank everyone who's sort of getting on board and commenting and watching the videos and all that. It's really appreciated. I'll get the hammer and dolly, and I might have a go at sort of straightening this out with the hammer and dolly. bit better. Yeah, I mean, it's still crap, but it is a little bit better.
We shall double our efforts.
I think I will put it in the English wheel. Just, I'm not even sure if I can fit it in there, but I'll have a go. I'll set it up and see if I can get it in there, but if I do, I need to protect this line here. If I roll over that with the English wheel too many times, it'll smooth that line out.
What could possibly go wrong?
All right, so this is the bit here that I want to work on, just in there. That big ridge there, that's one of the problems. We need to try and smooth that out. That's smoothing out there. Let's have a look at it. It's a lot smoother, but it's a bit high. I'm not sure if it's visible, but it's sort of, the panel goes nice and flat along here, and then it's where I've been working the English wheel, I've been stretching it, which is what the machine does, and I've built a crown into here, which is not ideal. Don't want that, so I need to figure out how I'm going to correct that. I don't know.
Well, yeah, all the gear, but no idea.
It is a lot smoother, like, especially here. That's really nice in that bit there. That's just a skim of filler and it's right, but this bit here where it was sort of, where you could hear it working through that lump in the panel, it's now built this crown. I'm not sure how much it comes out on camera, but it's not good. I don't know. I don't think I can go the other way on the English wheel, like upside down, and try and, because the metal's stretched, right? So really it needs to be shrunk. But I'll go the other way. Candle beaters, professional ones, are probably yelling at their phones and TVs right now, so I apologise to you guys.
This is seriously jacked up.
All right, now I've gone in the other way too far. I'll just try and get its original shape back.
You need to be better.
It's not too bad. It's not really bulbous. I think it's pretty good. I'll stick it back on the panel stand. Maybe I should try and work just that little bit there. Or maybe I should try and quit while I'm ahead. So here's the two guards. This is the one I was just working on, which is the passenger side guard. This bit here went real low, and then I flipped it around in the English wheel, and it's sort of come back to, wow, I feel like it's come back to its original shape. It feels good all the way through there. And then at this point here, it goes from, the panel's doing this naturally, but it goes from like a round over, and it sort of crowns up a little bit here, but it seems to do the same thing here. This is the driver's side guard. It's sort of flat, 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 and then it starts to crown up. through that and round that corner there. So I don't know, I think it might be all right. It's way better than it was. It's still gonna need a skim of filler. I don't think this is gonna be a file finished guard by any stretch. It's far too pulverized for that, but I think I can sort of call this section good. And yeah, continue on. But that's a win. To be honest with you, I went into shock a few minutes ago when I first got it out of the English wheel and it was all caved in because I reversed it round. But yeah, it's come good. I think I might have gotten lucky there. The profile along the front of these guards here, there's this chrome stainless steel trim piece that's got to fit, and it doesn't fit on this side. This side's all pulverized in along here, so I'm going to need to get this edge to meet this. And so this trim piece sits along there, so I need to make that work. And then there's this other bit that sits in here that's got a side marker light on it. So all that's got to fit, and then the valance has to join along the bottom there. So I'm going to muck around and try and straighten this up along here with these bits, one for each side. This is pretty tedious, but this has got to be right. If there wasn't this dress piece along there, if that wasn't such a prominent part of the car, then I wouldn't bother. I'd just sort of smooth it and make it look all right. But this has got to sit in here. So yeah, a bit more complicated. That's pretty ugly. I'm not even sure if it's going to work at this point. So this is the driver's side guard, and it's a mess here. So after a lot of finessing, beating, bending, I managed to get this piece to fit on, and it goes on. When it's in position, there's a little bit more of a rise here. There's not really anything I can do about it, but at least I can get it so that the side marker goes in its correct spot. You need to have the nut in there for it to sort of be fully in, but at least the side marker goes in its correct spot. The guard's got the general profile of how it's supposed to look with this side, and this side's much better. This is the passenger side. It's fine. In this front section here, this driver's side's definitely taken a beating at some stage. Look, if I had different guards, I'd fit them. These ones are, well, they've both got their own problems. This one, the driver's one, the problem's at the front here. The passenger side, the problem's a bit further back in front of the wheel arch. But I think what I need to do is actually bolt the guards on the car, get the front valance on, and maybe even put the bonnet on, and just see if all of this lines up and if I can make it work. Because to be honest, there's no point panel beating the hell out of the panels, getting them straight, or getting what I'd consider straight, and then getting them on the car later on, having the car painted and the gaps are garbage, the guards don't fit proper, nothing lines up, all the chrome's out of whack and all the rest of it. So I think firstly I need to figure out, are these going to work? Like, are they anywhere close to being correct? And, you know, if they are, then it's worth proceeding and possibly trying to fix them. But at this point, I need to fit them up to the car and make sure that's going to work, because, yeah, it hasn't been a good few hours, put it that way. Well, I don't know. It's funny, you put the guards and the bonnet and the valance on, even though the valance is beaten to death. Look at that. It's not a straight part on it. I'm terrified of putting it into the English wheel to try and straighten it out, given what I've done to these guards, but I don't know. You put all this stuff on and it starts looking good. Like you picture the doors on there, you paint the car and turn the key and away you go. But yeah, if only it was that simple. I don't know. If I had different guards, I'd fit them for sure. I know I've got 20 hours into the bonnet and it looks great, by the way. Very, very happy with the bonnet. But I just don't know. Like this bit here, for example, you follow this profile here, it comes down and then it's got this weird little curving thing, which that's not the big issue. The big issue is the angle from here to here. The whole thing's coming in like this. And this angle here is tighter than the other side. So just picture all this and then come over here and have a look. So this one here, goes along straighter and then it's probably a steeper curve and then it's basically straight down. And then the angle of this is a lot more like straight like this. This is pointing more to the front. But if you come over here and have a look at this one, I mean, it's not just as simple as bending this bit out like that. It's still a different angle. This here is still further out than there. So it feels like from this point to this point, the whole thing needs to come, this whole piece here needs to come across. And that's not I think this has taken a fairly sizable hit on this corner. That's not a 2 second, you know, I don't think you can just beat that with a mallet a few times and get that shape. I did manage to get the stainless trim to fit on there, which is good. And the side marker light. So I think I can make all of this work. That's the story, but it's not ideal. And then with this guard over here, with the passenger side guard, it was the first one I was working on where it was all dinged in here. This here now is actually really good. That bit along there is good. At one point it started to get a bit curvy because I had the wrong die in the English wheel, like an idiot. I put the straighter die in there, the flatter die, and then I managed to get it back into decent shape. That's just gonna need a skim of filler and that's okay. But the problem I've created is down here. So that's the body line that I was talking about. That's still there, which is okay. But now, it's hard to tell, but this bit here's it's bulbous because I've had it in the wheel. You can see all the wheel marks on it. I've had it in the wheel too much. Trying to get out, it had this couple of little small dings in there. I was trying to get them out and I've stretched the metal a bit. It's not shocking. I don't even know if other people would notice it, but I know I can notice it, and it's made to look worse now because the metal's kind of polished because it's been in the wheel. But I don't know, it depends on what angle you look at it from. Some people will probably say I'm being too particular, others will probably say it's shocking, get new guards. I don't know where it's going to go yet. I'm not giving up on the guards yet.
Quitters never win, and winners never quit.
What I might do next is, because I've got the guards on the car, I'll leave them on the car for now. I'll get the valance, and I don't know yet if I'll try and beat it straight on an anvil or use the English wheel or a combination of both, but I'll get that off, straighten it up a bit, and then I might try and work on this piece here and see if I can get that shape a bit better. I must admit I'm re-motivated now that all the guards and that are on, because it does look good. But yeah, I don't know. We'll just crack on and see where it ends up. Well, this thing kicked my butt yesterday. Nothing I touched went well, but sometimes that happens. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Fresh start, fresh day. So the thing that really annoyed me was this is the bonnet here, previous repair. There's a whole series of videos of me fixing this bonnet, and I thought it was done, but it's not. Keen eyes will notice that the gap is poor. It just goes, I don't know, Nah, it's got to be fixed. So this had a tweaked frame. The skin was rubbish, all punched in all over. The frame was rubbish. And I thought I fixed everything, but yeah, I didn't test fit the bonnet after fixing it, which was pretty silly now that I'm looking at it. So this gap's wrong. So when the frame was tweaked, it's pushed this, it's sort of changed the shape of it. So you can see it goes up there in the middle. And so yeah, I'll need to fix that without. Going to have to be real gentle with it because I'm going to have to modify or adjust the frame, cutting it and welding it, sort of changing the shape a little bit, but only really a little bit because, you know, small amount here is going to make a big difference to it. So that's probably a job for another day. But yeah, that annoyed me last night. So I cracked it and put down the tools and walked away. And sometimes you got to do that if you're going to keep plowing through. So yeah, I'll get into this valance, but you know, it's tweaked as well. It's not a good shape, but I reckon I can fix it. I have to be gentle with it. It's only a small piece, but it's pretty key to how the car looks from the front. So I got to get it right. So I'll pull it off and start massaging it. And that's exactly why sometimes you just got to put the tools down and walk away when things aren't going your way. Today, everything's going good. So this is the valance panel. It was pretty badly tweaked through here, but I managed to get it in the English wheel, had the right die on the wheel and got it flat. This is really nice through there. That's yeah, really good. And I also had a go at this section here and that section there. They had some small dings in there, and yeah, they squeezed right out. So I'm pretty happy with that. Really good progress. We're not looking at the bonnet anymore. That's a problem for another day. So back to the guards. I think I'll weld up the trim hole down there that we're not using. There's a ding just there in this one, and then I just need to continue tweaking the front of this driver's side guard. Just try and work that area a bit more and get that trim piece fitting better. And then just strip this one back and prime it. And then it's the same with this one. This one needs this is where I've had it in the English wheel for hours, and went bad then good, then bad then good, and it's not bad now. I just need to give that a skim of filler there, and same here. Weld up the same hole on the other side, and then this one should be good. Just strip it back and prime it. But yeah, things are going good today so far. doing there was just really beating on this thing, trying to get the shape to match this. It is ugly, it's ugly as hell, but I think I've got the general shape right. It's gonna need a little bit of filler work around here, a bit of filler just there, and I'm gonna have to weld this up. The metal, I've bent it and beaten it that much that I've cracked the guard. This is a split there. So I'm gonna need to fill that in and smooth it out, but I think I can get this to work. So this, I couldn't get this trim piece on before, but now it fits up nicely. So that's how it's gonna sit in there. So I had a really bad gap here, which I'm much happier with now. It'll pull down because this is an indicator here, so a side marker, once this is screwed in, it'll pull it closer in, so there'll be less of a gap there. But the ugly bits I still need to fix is I need to, like I said, I need to weld this up here and put some strength back into it, and then it's going to need some smoothing out along there. And I'm hesitant to try and hammer and dolly. I might hammer and dolly that a little bit, but I'm hesitant to mess it up too much because I'm worried I'll lose the shape. I'll just give it a quick go now. Getting a bit better. Better test fit this, make sure I haven't totally messed it up. Yeah, so it still fits the same. It's a bit nicer here now. It's still going to need filler work, but it's acceptable. What I'm going to do is try and weld this back up and then grind it smooth and just tidy this area up a little bit. But man, this thing's just fighting me like hell. These guards probably shouldn't be saved, but it's all I've got, so we're gonna make it work. Continue on. Well, there we go. Pretty happy with how that's come up. I welded up the split that was in it. Got the shape pretty good. The trim piece fits up really nicely now. Got the valance on. That's now straight. Really good. It's going to need a little bit of filler, but the general shape's correct. It mounts up to all the original spots nicely and looks good. Looks nice and symmetrical, which is awesome. And then this guard here, it's got problems. I welded up the trim hole down there, uncovered the badge holes again, and this is where I've had it, where I pulverized it in the English wheel a couple of times for a whole night, basically. Look, it's not bad, with a bit of filler, just a little bit through this bit here. There's a low there that I couldn't get out. It'll get better, but it's not a happy ending this time, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to call it here and come back and revisit it. The amount of work left on these guards isn't much. Like I said, strip it back, bit of filler, prime it, and it should be good. All the main work's done. This one, the rest of the guard's fine. There's just a little ding back here. Welded up that spot. Need to take all this primer and whatever was on there off, and give it a bit of filler. It looks like there's a little ding there as well, and in here, but the main work's just in this, smoothing this area out now that the general shape's right. It just sort of comes in and then it goes a little bit low just here. So tidy that up. Just neaten this area here up in general, because the trim covers most of that, but just there's visible. And then just down here, I was trying to get it straight with the hammer and dolly quite a bit, but there's just a few little imperfections there that's going to need just a little bit of filler. But this, funny enough, this was the guard that I thought was the junkiest of the two because of the front work. As it turns out, this one's been way less work than the other one. The other one's it's still a bit of a mess, but I think I can get it to work. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks heaps for watching. It's been an interesting experience, this one. It was like a bit of a roller coaster. There was highs and lows, but yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with where it got, and I learned a bit more about using the English wheel as well, which is, I guess that's what it's all about, just cracking through it and improving as you go. Anyway, thanks a lot, and catch you next time.